Hello everyone and welcome back. Today I'm going to be reviewing the Microt from Microt Industries. Is this tiny little thing going to be the next big thing? Or will I accidentally lose this forever because it is so tiny? Power through those close-ups and we'll get started. I want to mention that this video isn't sponsored, but Microt Industries did send me this little tool so I could check it out and share it with all of you. I really appreciate it when companies do that so I can get an idea of the product, but I want to let you know that I am committed to making sure that I'm remaining unbiased with all of my reviews. So the item they sent me is their Microt, which is the tiniest little tool I have come across so far. The designer of this knife is a company called Microt. And from what I can gather, they are a newer company based in New York City, and this appears to be their first product. This Microt was originally funded through a Kickstarter project from 2022, and it recently became available to purchase on their website. To deploy the tiny blade on the Microt, you push down on this brass button, and then you can slide the blade forward. It works like a box cutter, just tiny. It doesn't have any traditional locking mechanisms like other knives. Instead, it has 3 indents that you can see, and they work like a detent to hold the blade all the way out, halfway out, or closed. Like I mentioned, this isn't a true locking mechanism, and you can get the blade to retract just by pushing the tip into something solid. The blade shape is a dagger, which is one I haven't talked about yet. The dagger blade shape is symmetrical with a sharpened edge on both sides and a fine point that excels at piercing. This shape has been around for a long time. The earliest daggers were made out of flint, ivory, or bone during the Neolithic period about 10,000 to 4,500 BC. So a long ass time ago. So I could get into more of the history of the dagger, but that's not the point of this video. The tool is. The blade grind on the Microt is very dramatic, which I think helps because the blade is so small. I'd consider the grind a Scandi grind on each side. And Scandi grinds are great for whittling wood, but I wouldn't recommend that you do that with this. The length of the blade is 0.6 inches, with an overall length of just 1.7 inches. Fun fact, the Microt is about the width of my pinky. And I have small hands. So I'll give you some comparisons here on how small this knife really is. Next to my NAF's Baby Banter, it is small. Next to my Civivi Elementum, it is tiny. And next to the Spyderco Paramilitary 2, it is just comically small. The blade steel is 420 J2 steel, which is an inexpensive stainless steel which is high in chromium, and it is known for high corrosion resistance. It's commonly seen in budget knives, diving knives, and surgical instruments. The handle material itself is listed as grade 5 titanium, which has amazing corrosion resistance, and as I mentioned earlier, there is this brass button for helping to deploy the knife. So the pocket carry capabilities for this are limited, but it does come with a keychain, and you can attach it anywhere you need. The price for this is $20, which for the materials, I'd say it actually is a good price. So let me get into the reasons I like this and the things that I think it could improve on. I really enjoy how small this is. For a knife box opener, it is really handy to add to keychains or backpacks, etc. And it really is a great size to always have around on those days where you accidentally forget a full-size knife at home. The overall aesthetic for it is very minimal and actually harkens back to the Art Deco style for me, and I really enjoy how simplistic this is. I do have a few suggestions on improvements that I think could be made. So the mechanism to deploy the blade feels a bit gritty, and there is no texture on the handle to give you something to grip onto, which can make the knife a bit difficult to deploy. The blade is also not replaceable, but I did talk to somebody at Jimmytronics and they mentioned that they are working on a version 2 of this knife that will take a common replaceable blade. So that's it, that's all I got. As always, I try to end with something inspirational, something nice, because I'm pretty sure it's more than just Mercury in retrograde. So my inspiration or cheat code for you all today is, if you find yourself overwhelmed by the monumental list of stuff that we all have, start making a list of all and rate these by easy level to hard mode. And that way you can get some of the smaller battles taken care of before you level up for the main boss fight. So if you could please subscribe or share my channel or videos with your friends, I would appreciate it. Thank you everyone for taking the time and making it to the end. My self-esteem thanks you. Something nice because I'm... Oh.